One of the great things of being able to run within your own boundary is you can listen to music. Earphones are allowed. Nice change. No ASA rules inside your own boundary. What I want to talk to you about today is running style. You can improve your speed and your efficiency in this 3-week period by exercising and learning a new running style, particularly if you're someone who was a heel striker. Now, various types of shoes, and most people know that my preference is something very, very flexible. And if you think about it, the old plimsolls were very much like this. And 10,000 people finished comrades wearing this sort of shoe. Okay, this is a modern version, but there's literally nothing in it, and you can roll it up and put it in your pocket. So that's where we started, and in many ways that's where we should come back to, except obviously we've got thorns, we've got glass, etc. So we need a shoe like that. Many people have been in shoes like this, and this is one of the best examples of a better shoe within this sort of style. And you can see it's got flexibility, which is great, but it's got quite a high heel difference between there and there, and that can have an effect of forcing you, depending on your flexibility of your calves, of your Achilles and ankle, it can force you into a heel strike, and that is generally not what we're looking for in running, unless you have good flexibility in that area. My choice today around here and often is this, which again, that by the way is a power meter, highly flexible, but the difference between the old ones and the new ones are the need for this cushioning because of the style the surfaces we are running on now. Again, not a lot of control, but here's the thing. When you land correctly, which is, and the way we were designed, which is on the ball of the foot, what happens to the heel ceases to be as important, and therefore it's not a cause of injuries, because literally the heel will come down and touch and then move off. So we land there, touch and go off. And in fact, it's that system that actually makes the deeper, the larger heel drops, heel to midfoot drops, inappropriate. So we land on the ball of our foot, the ball of our foot being this part here. We land on the ball of our foot. We sometimes go back and forward. Now, you can imagine if this was a large distance, this difference is a big height, then of course we can't land on the ball of our foot because our foot is at an angle like that. And so the heel will automatically, of the shoe, will automatically touch first, forcing you into a heel toe. Now, we've got 3 weeks, or maybe 4, or maybe 6, or maybe 2 months. But in that time, we're not going to be running long distances, so this is an ideal time to change your style. And what I'm going to cover today is the basics of that change in style. For this, you want to have as flexible and as flat a shoe as possible. Many women will have a shoe, I think they call them the pumps, which are basically flat. Those are ideal, or even some socks with some protection on, which I will show you later on. But that is what to do. You'll see I've got elastic laces on here, slip them on, slip them off very easily. But this shoe, probably one of the best shoes of recent years, the Puma Speed 100, has a 6mm drop on it, and you're looking 6 to 8mm at the most, I would suggest, for this work. Okay, so the first thing is look at how you're striding and what we're trying to achieve. Now, most people, many people, land like that, and that is a problem because your foot is landing ahead of the knee, which causes your jarring to come up the leg, and that will destroy your knee joint and gives you shin splints. You'll get that slapping down. That's not what we want, and particularly as we get older, where our flexibility disappears. So what we're trying to achieve is to land like that. And in fact, look at the foot just now, not the upper body. We're landing like that on the ball of the foot, or in fact you will actually land more in a supinated, that's an outward twist, and come down like that and move forward. Right? So only looking at the foot lands like that and forward. So we get momentum. Now for us to do that, we need to shorten our stride at the front and push out at the back. You see, if I stand like this, I can't do anything. If I lean forward, I automatically am pushed into a forward movement. If I'm landing heel toe, it takes an awful lot to move forward. I've actually planted myself and I can't get any forward movement. There's no natural forward movement. I've got to lift up and then move forward. So I'm using more energy. Therefore, it makes a lot of sense that a heel strike out front is not only damaging, but it slows your momentum. You're actually stopping with every stride. So we don't want that. And one of the ways is just simply that we've been forced into that is just simply because of the height of the heel on the shoes that we've been sold. That's a jogging style. I mean, it's purposely designed as a jogging style, and the idea was to try and smooth out the run for people who were couch potatoes, etc. before. That's not what we want as runners, and you can improve your style over these next 3 weeks by changing that, using short distances, which is ideal. Now, next point is, if we're going to land like that, we need to ideally land so that we're under a flexed knee. We don't want a straight knee, we want a flexed knee, and we want to try and keep the hips at the same level. So that's what we're trying to do there, and we're then able to push off as we push back. And the hips should actually stay level this way as well as level this way, up and off. So we're leading, if you want. Now, one way to do this is to learn to get the lean. So put your hands up against the air as high as you can and bring them down, and you should be straight. And there should be a line from the shoulder, or even from the earlobe, through the shoulder, through the knee, down to the ankle. And that should be straight. And you keep your head in that balanced position. So I'm looking here now, but as I fall forward, I'm looking lower. So from here to there. But the head stays the same, and that line stays the same. So what's holding me up? Well, it could be these, but if I do that, then I can't flex them and contract them as I need to for running. So this should be slack, but this, your core, should be tight. That's what's holding you up. There, my feet just slightly shoulder width apart, and again, lower yourself in and learn that feel. It's like hinging from the ankles. The heels are on the ground. Notice the heels on the ground. Everything is straight. As you get better with it, you can move back a bit. Now, why am I having to hang on to the wall? Quite simply, because if I don't put the pressure on the wall, I'll end up running forward like this. So it's only when I want to stop or slow down that I put my foot ahead of me. Think of being on a scooter as a kid. You want it to be up, you want it to be braced, you had good core strength, and you pushed back. You never put your foot forward like that. So why would we want to in a running style? So the very first thing is get a feel for the lean. And the lean is from the ankles, heels on the ground. And that's what we're trying to get. And the more you lean, the faster you go, because you're pushing backwards. So that's the next thing. Our point of contact is roughly on the ball of the foot, maybe slightly back. The faster you go, the more you will come to the front of the ball of the foot, which is why Usain Bolt spikes are in the front and there is nothing at the heel. And the slower we go, the more we come back, which is why a distance spike for 5,000 or 10,000 meters has a small heel on it, probably about 2-3 millimeters. Okay. This has 6 millimeters, and it's ideal for running with and learning. Again, because we were designed to run, you can use things like this. You'll get them in many shops, you'll get them online. Obviously the shops are closed now, but you may have been using these sort of things for surfing. Anything, use anything in the next 3-4 weeks that allows total flexibility. As I say, ladies have things called pumps, which are ideal, and men, if they fit you, use them to practice your running style. So that's the starting point. We want to get to that. Now we want to make sure our foot lands under the flexed knee. So what we're ending up with is this, and our knee prompts forward and our foot comes down like that. And again, let's make it more correct. Our foot is coming through, the knee pumps forward, and the foot comes down under the flexed knee like that, and it pushes backwards, so the body goes forward. It pushes backwards to drive us forwards. The same thing applies to our arms, and we'll talk about that just now. Running's not just about the legs, it's also about the arms. And a lot of people are not getting the full use of their lungs or their arms because they're up here and they're creating tension up here. And you'll see a lot of women coming way across like that. It's almost like they're knitting purl one. Yeah. So we don't want the arms up here. We want the arms down here. And you want them going backwards. Remember, it is the backward movement. And keeping it very simple just now, for distance running, if we just go back, it comes here, and if you watch Kipchoge, when he's going fast, it will come up here. And everything is going forward. So that's a bit on your arms. Not too much yet, just get the basics right, get the style, get the landing, shorten your cadence, the number of times your foot touches the ground in a minute. Make that higher. We want to get about 180 cadence, so start practicing that. You can practice that even on here, and you can practice your arms with that. Lots to do in the next 3 weeks, lots of opportunities to chat.